Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the fearful, avoidant, anxious, preoccupied relationship, but specifically how the fearful avoidant can thrive in this relationship and what the individual fearful avoidant needs to do. We're doing a bit of a series around this. We have a really in-depth webinar style course about everything related to this. If you want to join for free, do a much deeper dive into this, where we talk about reprogramming, communication tips, tools, needs, boundaries, everything you really need to know to thrive, depending on what your attachment style is. We have for all of the major attachment style interactions. And you can click that link below for and join for free for 7 days if you're interested in going deeper into all this stuff and really being able to make these relationships work. Now, if you are the fearful avoidant, tip number one that I have for you is to practice communicating what you need to the anxious preoccupied. Now, the way you can communicate this best is by starting by sharing what your experience is and how you have different needs because you grew up differently, you have different programming than your AP partner. You can also communicate your needs and then bring some reassurance to the relationship after. This is how it best lands with your AP partner. This is how it's just most likely to work in this relationship overall. So for example, if you need space, say, look, I need space to recharge. I need some time to myself. I have a little bit of different needs from you in terms of time to myself. This is really important for me right now. And I'm really enjoying our relationship overall. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with how I function and what my emotional bandwidth is like. And being reassuring in that process will also help you get your needs met. It is necessary to do this as well as a fearful avoidant because if you don't, you can get burned out from the relationship and start to resent your partner, but also you can become really codependent in this relationship, and it can actually create a lot of emotional turmoil and chaos in this dynamic long term. So to maintain the relationship to yourself, to have balance in the 7 areas of life, to avoid burnout, all these different things require communication of needs. Number two is to practice in your healing in this dynamic, to practice making sure that you're truthful about what your boundaries are and that you're not people pleasing. Sometimes because the FA feels quite loved and seen by the AP, they can start people pleasing, and it can sort of be fearful avoidants tend to have this thing where they go, oh, you've done something nice for me. And because they have an unworthiness core wound, they'll feel like they're not worthy of or deserving of it. So they'll be like, well, now I have to do something twice as nice back. And they can kind of give of themselves in a sacrificial way and then actually come to resent the dynamic later. And so it's important that you practice not doing that, being able to practice receiving, feeling like you're worthy of receiving, which brings me to number three, which is to reprogram your core wounds. The big core wounds you want to work on reprogramming in this dynamic are I am unworthy, I am bad. So if you ever feel guilty for saying the wrong thing or making a mistake in this relationship in any form, I will be betrayed and I can trust is a really important thing to program in there. A lot of the core wounds that fearful avoidants have overall, but more so on the avoidant side, because when with an AP, you're going to polarize. So rather than fearing abandonment as much and being not good enough or rejected, you're more likely to fear the wounds of feeling trapped or helpless or powerless. If you feel engulfed, these sorts of things. So really important to do the work around these wounds so that they don't get brought into your relationship, and also so that you can feel free of this stuff overall. It's really powerful to let this stuff go at a subconscious level and really be able to shed things that you might have been carrying at a subconscious level for a really long time that created heaviness, conflict, pain, just challenges in a relationship as a whole. Another really important thing here is to stop testing and start communicating. So if you find yourself testing, to practice communicating vulnerably instead, and to say, I feel afraid, I need reassurance, I feel confused, I need transparency, I feel, a little bit alarmed, or I notice a change in the pattern, I just need some consistency, whatever it might be. To practice going to your partner and actually sharing vulnerably what you're experiencing is extremely important when it comes to healing and moving the needle on this dynamic as well. And then lastly, doing some shadow work in here can be really powerful. So shadow work traits are often things that you're sort of doing in the relationship to yourself, most so, but for fearful avoidance, a lot of these shadow work dynamics are things like feeling invaded. And it's usually because you're invading your own boundaries to people please your partner. Feeling like somebody's expectant being a trigger. And usually it's because you put such high expectations on yourself. Feeling overwhelmed, as if your partner is being overwhelming as a trait. usually because you're overwhelming yourself with how much you're putting on your plate and how much you expect of yourself in relationships and the perfectionism you put on yourself. And other honorable mentions for traits that are worth doing shadow work on are advantageous, untrustworthy, dramatic, because fearful avoidants can be quite dramatic in their internal dialogue in terms of the way they magnify situations. So all these things are really powerful to not just do shadow work around, but also to practice solving for these things at a deeper level using shadow work, and strategies to break through some of these shadow work components and doing that trait integration. So these are some high level things. Again, we could go so much deeper. There's so much to say, but if you want to do a deeper dive, come check out that course for free for 7 days. Come check out all the different tools and resources we have inside PDS. And also we are launching a relationship coaching training. It's called Integrated Attachment Theory Certification. If you want to see the itinerary, what it takes to like build the business, everything that's going to be there so you can work from home, do all this really cool stuff and actually like do this work that we're sharing here that combines the subconscious mind, relationships, attachment theory, reprogramming tools, emotional patterns, expectations, needs, all this stuff, shadow work, then check it out. And we're going to be doing a training specifically in that stuff. And you can see the itinerary below and you can sign up to our wait list. There will be limited seats. So if you are interested, please put your information on the wait list and you guys will get notified first before we actually do a blast to everybody on our email list and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for being here and watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.